we're moving on to one with Warren Beatty and Gene Seberg, right?
Okay.
And it's entitled Lilith. Now, do you know what the spirit or the demon Lilith is? Do you know what the spirit or demon Lilith is? If you've ever sung lullabies to your children, then you definitely believe in Lilith. Who was Lilith? Lilith was the first creation after God created Adam.
Okay.
He created Lilith. But Lilith was created not with a piece of Adam. She was created from a mound of black mud too, black dirt too. And so when she came to being, she was wild and headstrong and wanting to do what she wanted to do. She was not obedient or not a helpmate to Adam. She was in competition with Adam. And so, like a lot of times when you see women in competition instead of being helpmate to a man, this is more representative of Lilith, right? So that's who Lilith is. So God banished Lilith and put Adam to sleep, took his rib and created Eve. Now, Lilith became a spirit demon who then goes out to steal the souls of little babies. And so this is the folklore or the tale, and so she steals the souls of little babies, so that would be crib death.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
And so she steals the souls of the babies, and the reason why people have the little lullaby things playing over the baby's head, or they sing lullabies to the baby, is to ward Lilith off. And if you believe that you don't believe, if you have that little lullaby playing above your baby's head, you may not know why you're doing it. You might think it's something to soothe the baby, but it's actually to ward off Lilith, to keep your baby's soul so it won't be crib death. Okay?
Wow.
So Lilith, 1964, on the Movies Channel, right? Gene Seberg, Lilith author, Warren Beatty, Vincent Bruce, Peter Fonda is in this film as Stephen, and Gene Hackman makes a supporting cast appearance as Norman, right? So let's break down this the synopsis of this. A young man returning from the Korean War finds work at a mental institution as a occupational therapist for wealthy patients. He and a mental patient strike up an unusual relationship, but is he able to keep boundaries? Speaks to schizophrenia, pedophilia, homosexuality, and manipulation. Now, how a man who came back from the Korean War, who wasn't fully checked out himself, how he could then go and get a job as an occupational therapist, working that close to mental patients, and you can see these scenes here as they play in the trailer, right? It's like the doctor must have been on some kind of pre-hippie 60s type thing.
Something.
Because the head doctor over the whole facility knew that sometimes, it's in the film, he knows that sometimes the patients try to seduce the occupational therapist, and then sometimes the therapists get involved and seduce the patient, right? So, you know, in that aspect, so in that aspect, it's like, what are you really doing? Like, why are you hiring this young guy? These are young people standing next to people in their own age group. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because today you have to have a certification, you know, and specialize in that field in order to deal with people with those type of mental issues.
So, based on a novel about sexual obsession, it is definitely a piece that deals with that somewhat surreal compositing of the 1960s to demonstrate disorientation or to demonstrate deep thought or falling into the web of Lilith.
Yes.
Okay.
This woman is.
Yeah, she is really something.
She's
so look,
wicked.
he begins to fall into the relationship with her.
Okay.
At first, he's keeping his distance because there is a fellow mental patient who is biting for her affections, and somehow the character gets involved in it, right? Vincent gets involved in that relationship between Lilith and Stephen, played by Peter Fonda.
Okay.
Right? And it gets grimy in a way, and that's why you have to watch it. The pacing on the film is slow but on time at the same time, right? Because it's supposed to be representing a mental facility, right?
Okay.
And then the Norman character is married to Victor's high school sweetheart, who did not wait for him to come back from war. She didn't wait for him to come back from war.
Okay.
And this kind of messes Vincent up, because had she waited, then they probably would have been married and would have went on. But he was another suitor during the same time when they were in high school.
Okay.
And so she marries him, and then they show you about their relationship as a married couple, and you listen to Norman talking to Victor about what's possibly happening up there at the mental institution. He said, "Yeah, I heard there's some strange things going up there." So that's like, it's like Victor's conscience talking to him, right? Through the Norman character, right? Who is really pervy. And he said, you know, really, I should have went out on the road, because that's another lifestyle. Yeah, you can really get away with things, right? So that's that. So you start to see that everyone that's in this piece is not squeaky clean, just like real life. Now, Lilith not only holds relationships with Victor, but she also holds a distant relationship with Stephen.
Right.
She holds a relationship with a female patient.
Right.
And Lilith appears to like little boys.
She's a child molester.
There are some disturbing scenes in this film, and it was rated R. He stands there, Victor stands there as Lilith seduces a little boy, and it's always a little boy of a certain age.
Right.
And the the doctors at the facility want to know what happened to her brother, because once her brother died,
right,
when she was 18, he was about 12.
Right.
She goes off the deep end.
Right. So we won't give that part away.
I'm not get out of the way.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just moving,
a connection.
I'm just moving through it.
Yeah, because
and so she has an affinity for little boys. So not only is she schizophrenic,
yeah, she's
a pedophile, and she holds a relationship. As you can see in these scenes that are playing, as he threw the female out because he's involved with her. He should have known to walk away from the power of Lilith, right?
After reading her chart, he should have knew to stay away.
So she's also into homosexuality and manipulating him, Victor, as well as Stephen, right? And so Warren Beatty's character Victor gets involved and gets all strung out in the middle of this. And
doesn't Victor? He seems to have some type of mental issues himself.
Well, he breaks it to mental illness, so you have to watch it to the end. So schizophrenia, pedophilia, homosexuality, and manipulation are all depicted in this film in a mental patient at this mental facility who seduces Warren Beatty's character Victor, and she goes by the name of Lilith. And the metaphor is stealing the souls of the babies, are like stealing the little boy's innocence. That's what the metaphor is.
In the previews that's showing, there's a scene that shows a younger woman, her profile. She looks like a young, not Lilith, but one of the ladies in the film, like a younger version of Aretha Franklin. Did you notice?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
She's in the film. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Okay. So let's break down the cinematography on it and do the breakdown. Cinematography is a 10, including the cutting and the compositing, beautifully done to represent what I said before, disorientation or falling into the web. That's a 10. Storyline through line. That's a 10. Character arc. Each one of the main characters, Gene Siegel's character Lilith, Warren Beatty's Victor, and Peter Fonda's Stephen, they all arc in this picture, and somewhat to disastrous ends. Acting skill, emoting, that's a 10. That's a 10. Wardrobe and cars of that period, that's a 10. Locations, going on locations to this English, because you find out that it's kind of like a New England type of place, and so they're doing English type rituals, like doing things on horses and trying to spear rings,
and they go to the little fair, right?
In the fair, right? That's a 10. Showing Warren Beatty's background because he grew up in that town. Story beat, connecting one beat to the next, especially Lilith as who she is. That's a 10. Believability, it is very believable in the ties between schizophrenia, pedophilia, homosexuality, and manipulation. I see that 10, right? Historical fact, seeing festivals and seeing places that no longer exist in the form they're in is always historic fact in film. That's a 10. What would you give Lilith?
I would give it, it was an interesting film. I would give it a 7, right?
Why?
And you know why? Because for me, it was just moving so slow. Like it was moving too slow for me. Right? And then she was irritating. I mean, because don't you hate, you watch a film and you just cannot stand the character, and it's just like you're looking at everybody else around, and it's like
Why are you falling for this?
Can't you see that this chick is a snake? So when she put that knife in your back, don't be surprised. So, but it was just moving so slow. It was just moving too slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it eventually picked up, but it was just too slow. Do you remember, I don't know, high school maybe, but during the period of junior high, when they had that Lilith fair, they was always talking about it.
Right.
And so now it makes sense. So
Lilith
I guess
fair.
this is Lilith is who, you know, because it was a fair and it was just, I mean, a festival, right, of all women.
Right.
So, but why would they name it Lilith Fair?
They named it Lilith Fair
after the demon?
Yes, because they are saying that they can do something without men. It can be all women. You see? See how that all plays together?
But to name it after a demon?
Right. So Lilith, you have to see Lilith. We gave you a little context on what it's all about. That's a 10.
Yeah.
Right? That's a 10.
The acting was great.
Right. The pacing on it, I thought it represented being
in a crazy house. Mental institution.
Yeah, it's slower, right? And once you left the institution, it picked up, but then it would slow back down.
Right.
And so I understood that you could see the cutting in this